Right here only tonight at 6. You know, our city's history comes to us in many different ways. But when you throw out your trash, do you ever think of it as history? In Louisville's Germantown neighborhood, I came across a local businessman who's getting ready to turn 19th century trash into the only museum of its kind in Louisville. Along with chief photojournalist Philip Burrell, I found that he wouldn't be in business if it hadn't been for the animal lurking below.
It's amazing that the porcelain holds up.
You are looking at Louisville's trash.
Every third corner was either a bar or a pharmacy.
I have a dental hygienist who works like this on my teeth.
Everything now beautifully cleaned of dirt by the hands of Patrick Donnelly. And preserved.
This is a syringe. It would have been a needle, rusted, gone. And this is a glass plunger.
1800s kids' dolls, now in pieces.
Those are the two legs that came with that torso. The head is articulated as well.
From 1870, 5 years after the Civil War ended.
So it's a holy water font probably from a nun's residence over at St. Teresa's.
Right to the American craftsman era of the 1920s.
1,000 bottles, easily. 2,000 tons of broken glass.
Welcome to Donnelly's future museum, the Mary Street Midden Project. Midden, the nice word for dump. It's peeling back an often overlooked slice of Louisville's wild Rivertown history.
These are vulcanite and porcelain false teeth.
So where were these found?
Oh, about 4 feet down.
Underground.
Underground. Digging through, and I'm like, teeth.
Donnelly bought this building on Mary Street in Germantown a few years ago, not knowing what was underneath it.
The city actually paid them to allow their neighbors and local businesses to deposit their trash here.
When the open trash dump was closed in the 1920s, this building was then built.
The toys of the day, what'd you find over here?
Everybody had a doll. Those dolls were all made of bisque, and unfortunately, they were very fragile. In fact, I find myself...
This is almost a house of horrors.
Yeah, it is. Every time you see this little face emerging out of the soil.
One day, Donnelly went to the basement that has a dirt floor, and suddenly...
That's when I found my first 2 beer bottles, and I thought, it's probably a construction worker, throwing their beer bottles under the... But then there was porcelain, and there was stoneware, and there was baby doll heads.
It was the help of a furry friend.
Yes, Phyllis the Groundhog.
Phyllis, whom Donnelly recorded, piqued his curiosity, and he kept on digging and digging, discovering along the way that Louisvillians loved Leon Perrins.
They were the Worcestershire sauce, and the style of the bottle tells you that, and everybody copied that style who made a comparable product.
Welch's grape juice.
In the early days of glass, they were exploring with how do you keep the product airtight.
And of course, whiskey.
That's a gallon whiskey jug. This is Phil Hollenbach, which is Hollenbach is Fortuna whiskey. That's Garvin Brown, who was one of the sons of J.T.S. Brown.
How old's this bottle?
That's going to be 1880s. He started the company around 86, I want to say. This is another free sample for Paul Jones whiskey. Paul Jones is the creator of Four Roses.
Plus a truly remarkable find right here in a time of segregation, proving the trash dump was equal to all.
It says Coates Chapel, African Methodist Episcopal Church. Well, this church still exists.
But take a closer look.
It's a whiskey jug, but it's also a collection jar.
Because of the...
That's a penny slot.
Real estate agent Sam Heine's interest in Louisville's historic homes takes him into many of them in this area.
At the time that was a dump, this was the outskirts of Louisville whenever it was centered around downtown and the West End and Market Street. And so that's why they put a dump here, because it was further out than most people lived.
Donnelly has architect's plans for his new museum already drawn up. And another person's trash, well, he says, not his treasure.
I'm not going to monetize the artifacts. The artifacts are what the museum is going to be about, and the story of trash, and that's all going to be revealed through your experience at the museum. So my trash is everyone's treasure.
So what about Phyllis? He would leave her treats, and
the next day I'll come in and there'll be a little bottle sitting right on top. I think she was thanking me.
Phyllis died of old age, but in a tribute, Donnelly named his company Groundhog Archaeology, right after the founder of the Mary Street Midden Project.
Rest in peace, Phyllis. Well, we never want to hear the word pandemic again, but ironically, this dump covers the first pandemic, material from 1918. Patrick is the former owner of the Zephyr Gallery that was in New Lou. If you want to learn more about the Mary Street Midden Project and help him with any donations, you can go to his website. It's groundhogarchaeology.com.